Hey guys, welcome back to the TTA Performance YouTube channel. Today we got Bonnie on the lift and we're going to do a few modifications. Maybe you've noticed on Facebook, on our Facebook page, we've been racing the Bonneville. We've been bracket racing it and it's very consistently slow, but it's very consistent. It basically runs about 18 flat and a quarter mile at 75, 76 miles an hour. Like I stated before, it looks like it's got 241 rear gears based on just some crude math of turning the drive shaft. It does have that Metric 200 3-speed automatic in it. And I mean, the car runs really good. It's very consistent. It's actually won the free bracket race on ladies' night on a Wednesday, guys against girls. It's been to the semifinal round several times on a Wednesday night. It sucks because I kind of haven't really raced the Trans Am lately. Not that there's anything wrong with the Trans Am, it's so much fun running the Bonneville right now, and it's just a no-brainer. But don't worry, the Trans Am will be out at the drag strip shortly. We've got some other mods plans for that. But anyway, what we're doing with the Bonneville today, the car didn't have any kind of gauges in it, so I do want to put an oil pressure gauge and a coolant temp gauge in it just for peace of mind, see what's going on with the car. Second thing is that we did change the exhaust. We removed the stock catalytic converter and put on the homemade exhaust out of spare parts that I had laying around. One of them being a 2.5-inch MagnaFlow muffler. It's a little bit quieter than when it had the CAD on it, but really didn't gain any performance from changing the exhaust. It's just peace of mind for me to, have an exhaust system on it and kind of get the exhaust fumes out towards the rear of the car, even though it still doesn't have a tailpipe on it. So with that exhaust, we're going to actually be putting an oxygen sensor in it. Now, I like to use wideband oxygen sensors just as a gauge to see how things are doing. Especially on a carbureted car, it's actually pretty nice. So we welded in a bung for that. We're going to be hooking up that gauge temporarily, kind of see what's going on. And then right now what I'm doing is, I'll turn the camera around here in a second, but we're doing a transmission service on this Metric 200. And I actually picked up on eBay a vintage Transgo shift improver. Now it's not a full-blown shift kit. It's like a shift correction kit or something like that. It looks like it's been sitting on the shelf for a long time. So I'm going to turn the camera around, kind of show you that. New filter is going to go in it too. I just dropped the transmission pan. Doesn't look too bad in there. Kind of smells like the transmission's been smoking Marlboro Reds for a couple of years, but we'll turn the camera around here and we'll show you what we got going on. So this is what I picked up. This was from my local auto parts store. Actually, they didn't have one in like their warehouse didn't have one either. They actually had sourced this from another store to get it, but this is just basically a filter and a pan gasket. And then this is what I bought off of eBay. This is Turbo Hydromatic 200 valve body kit, and this is the things that it corrects. It's made by Transgo. I like Transgo stuff. I like their stuff as far as like shift kits and valve body recalibration kits and stuff like that. I don't even know what it says here. What does that say? Oh, just Lemco. Cleveland, Ohio. Must be where it was made, I'm assuming. Fits 76 to 78 THM 200, Turbo Hydromatic 200. The reason I wanted this one specifically, 76 to 78, is because in 1979, the Metric transmission got a lockup torque converter, and I wasn't sure if it would be the same. This one being a 77 is a non-lockup. I didn't know if a kit specifically for a lockup would work in a non-lockup trans. So that's why I kind of went with this. And then, I don't know, has parts inside of it. It's pretty old school. There's a lot of, I don't know if there's any, oh, there's a separator plate. So yeah, the valve body is going to be coming out. So let's see what we got, underneath here. So I got the pan off, and I have a suspicion that maybe this fluid was never changed. I mean, the car's only got 52,000 miles on it. Little bit of material on the filter, but not bad. Fluid was not bad. Wasn't burned or anything like that. The pan itself, there is a little material on the bottom there, and hopefully everything is going to be okay, because these Metrics are known for kind of, I believe they burn out the reverse band and then they don't want to back up. But this one's been shifting just fine. It's not the firmest thing in the world to shift. With me racing the car, even though we're not making a ton of power, I still wanted to try to save the transmission from having any kind of complete destruction going on. But and I do have another Metric trans just in case that's got 56,000 miles, but it is an 81 that has a lockup converter. So I do have a backup. Usually a Turbo 350 bolts right into place. It is pretty much a direct swap for a Metric, but I don't really want to go there if I don't have to. So as you can see, we got the exhaust right there. We did put an oxygen sensor bung in it just now. We still have to screw in the oxygen sensor. And of course the awesome MagnaFlow muffler that is prettier than the car. All right, let's get to work. We'll get this valve body down and we'll see what's involved with this kit. Okay, kit is opened up. This is pretty interesting. There's a lot of parts in here. We got a lot of springs. Well, mainly this bag full of springs. And we've got oil separator plate. We've got the gaskets for it here. And then the instructions. And these instructions, I think I saw a date of 1980. Oh, right. Copyright is 1983. And we got this note from Straight Talk from Gil Younger, Mr. Shift. Gil, hope you're right. We're gonna try this out. And there was some other, I guess you could send in for some books, it looks like. Some other stuff. And this is dated August of 1984. So, vintage stuff here. I bet if they still make this kit, which I think they do, SK200 kit? Yeah, I think they still make this kit. But I bet you the instructions haven't changed. So, we're going to read through all of this. So you got some identification here between 79 and pre-79. If it's this type only. Okay, well, that's good. That's why I bought this one. And, oh, we got an accumulator spring to change out. There might be some options in here, but basically, so all of the shift kit instructions are on this page. There's some troubleshooting on the back side of this in case you run into some trouble or whatever. Oh, wow, they're even doing governor modifications? I have to check that out. I did see, I believe, this was, I thought was interesting. There was like this spring, pressure regulator spring application chart. And it's like 300 and up size of what? Oh, it must be the engine. Well, I guess it's 300 and up. It's 301. That's more than 300, right? But, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Okay, I'm going to read through all this, and then we're going to figure out what mods we're making. Well, valve body down, ran into the first issue. It's not really an issue, but something that we found. Broken accumulator spring. Yeah, I don't know what kind of damage that would have caused as far as the transmission. I don't know if that's a common thing that happens with the Metric, and that's why it has problems. I always noticed that the shifting wasn't firm, but like part throttle shifting, it was a weird overlapping shift. I shouldn't say overlapping. It had a weird engagement. It wasn't like, it's like you felt it shift and then it fully engaged. Now, if you were on the throttle harder, you didn't really notice it. But the part throttle stuff, it was just odd. The 1-2 shift was just odd. And I wonder if that's why it was doing that. Usually I would think an accumulator is for the 1-2 shift, but usually if you take the spring out, I thought it shifts firmer, but could be wrong. But yeah, that was one thing. Like, I'm kind of glad I took it apart now and decided to put this kit in there because that could be a problem. But all right, let's start diving into it. All right, according to the instructions, it looks like the only thing we have to do is change that spring, this one to the orange. When we get to this accumulator valve spring, then we got to go through and measure what diameter it is, look at how many different marks there are, and it'll tell us what spring to use. There's also these governor modifications, and then there's this spacer in here. And then this this accumulator piston, the spring for that is massive. This is way bigger and thicker than what it came with, so that's, I guess, a good thing. But we have the valve body kind of laid out right now, and I'm kind of, this pink spring is getting replaced. There's all these little roll pins that pop from the bottom. You push them up through the bottom. Obviously, they can't come out when it's bolted into the transmission, but that's, you pull the roll pin out and then knock out the spring. The spring will come out. Like right now, I'm putting the pink spring in the low valve, they call it. Oh, there's also a note on that one that says, grind a 1/4 inch long flat on this land of the low valve. Okay, I guess we're doing that. We'll have to take out the low valve. This yellow spring is the one that came in it, so I don't want to mix that up. But let's see if we can get this out. So take this out. Ta-da. It says it grind a flat on there. Well, I guess I'll go do that. All right, got it all warmed up, got the gauges put in. Oil pressure is actually pretty good. When it's cold, it was over 60. It's fully warmed up right now. It looks like low idle, we got like 30. Holding 170 pretty easily on the coolant temp. We're gonna take it for a ride. We're gonna see how it does for the shifting. All right, yes, we added the oxygen sensor, so we got a wide band, and it idles really stupid rich. But shifting, well, not harsh. Shifting all gears. Yes, the windshield's still cracked. Yeah, let's see. We get a little bit of the downshift. Yeah, it's not a shift kit. It's not like it's shifting really hard. It just it's just positive. You know, before I had a weird kind of, I don't know if I'd call it a flare, not a full engagement on the 1.2 at half throttle. Now it's just like, yep, it's in gear. You know it's in gear, but it's not banging the gear trying to chirp tires or anything. What are we cruising at, air fuel wise? 14s, mid 14s, just cruising. That's good. Even in the high 15s. Okay. Just got to take care of that idle. Let's see. We're gonna hang a U-turn here. There we go. Wide open throttle upshift. Feels about the same. Yeah, really, it hasn't really changed. So the takeaways on our little, it's not really a shift kit, but our shift correction kit. Overall, I'm happy with it. Transmission shifting great. And we're going to end the video here, so thanks guys for liking and subscribing, and we'll catch you next time.